become a woman of that capacity of 10.5 million, she'll first of all tell you, okay, you need $50,000? All right, I'm going to give you, as my cousin, I'm going to give you $1,000, you know, just go and be happy. All right, anything you want to do with $1,000, do with it. Or I'm going to give you $500, whatever it is, but I'm not going to give you $50,000. If you want me to give you $50,000, bring a business proposal. Let me know the kind of business you're going to. If it's a business I understand, I'm going to give you $50,000. We'll have a partnership. I'll probably bankroll it as your angel investor, but I have a 5% stake, 50% stake or 40% stake. Now, when you talk like that, that means you know what you're doing. You assess the risk portfolio in that business. If it doesn't make sense, you dish it. If it makes sense, it's okay. Hey, this risk can be managed. All right, I'm going to pump you $50,000. And before you even approve it, it will take you some time. How? That means you're working as a person in that dimension because you've acquired knowledge to help you to operate in that dimension. There's no magic, there's no curse, there's no juju, there's no village people here. Everything starts and ends with you. All right? All right, so that being said, I hope I've made my point. And I hope it's clear. Because we had 90 days. We had 90 days for partners to qualify for Dubai. And those who felt, who knew who they were, who went all out to execute, who didn't give excuses, just as it is at all times, that not everybody will be at the top, only those who do the work. And these guys did the work and they came out the top, they qualified. And the people who are going to accept as qualifiers are those who actually qualified. 300 codes and 30 codes generated by you. And of course, out of that 30 codes, 10 you sponsor the 10 yourself, 10 personally sponsored, all right? They met up with all these criteria and they qualified. Now, these are the people that you're going to be seeing on your screen now. They have absolutely qualified for the Dubai trip, so we're going to celebrate them shortly. This is their time, this is their period, and who might they be? Let me shock you and push down these exceptional men. And how come we just have these people who qualified? All right. It's always like that, right? Many are called, if you are chosen. And if you feel that you ought to be here, then prove every other person wrong, because your time will come. Your time came, some of you didn't utilize it. All right, so here are our new Dubai qualifiers. Quickly, because of time, I'm going to go straight into this. So these are the qualifiers. Sorry about that. Yes. Super congratulations to all of you. Hi, Chief Barrister Anyazoka, Mr. Michael, and of course, I keep forgetting his name now. Mr. Adeyemi, yes, Mr. Adeyemi. Fantastic. So these are the people that qualified outrightly, no adding money, no adding, they hit the ground running. They set a goal for themselves and they hit a boom. And today they are the qualifiers for Dubai trip. Now, here's the somebody say you didn't call my name because it didn't get up to 300. Yes, I know you did up to, I think up to 200. But then he didn't qualify. He didn't get up to 300. We said that if you can pay the remaining amount, yes, there's room for that. All right. If you make 200 codes, you could pay up the difference. You can monetize the difference, and then you travel. It didn't mean it doesn't mean that you qualified. It simply means that you can travel with us, but you didn't qualify. Do you understand? You have to understand that. These are those who qualified. But if you now still want to join the trip, you'd have to pay extra for it. All right. So congratulations, super congratulations once again to Adeyemi, Mr. Adeyemi, Mr. Michael, and High Chief Barrister Anyazoka. So wonderful accomplishment. And this is a proof to the fact. So guys, you've seen it again, all right? In a team of thousands of people, only 3 people qualified. Do you understand? Does it mean that those who didn't qualify didn't work? No, it simply means they have not become the men and women that are eligible to qualify for trips like Dubai. Amen? Mm-hmm. You have not become that man. You have not become that woman. Until you become that, you can qualify. And it's not possible. Even if you use money and travel, you will never qualify. See, there are more trips coming in. There are more things to be done. There's more money to be made, but do not rely on anybody. Simply rely on the fact that you need to grow. And that is when you can attract what you've become. They have become the qualifiers, and that is why they hit the nail. So, once again, congratulations to all of you. Okay, let me see. So at this point, we have, now we've celebrated the qualifiers. There's good news and there's bad news. So which one should I say first? I can't see the comment of most of you know. So let me see if I can get it from YouTube. Which one should I start with first? There's good news and there's bad news. I love the good news, but I don't like the bad news. So, but which one should I start with first? Good news or bad news? Let me check the comment section. Okay, you're saying bad news first? Bad news, bad news, bad news. Okay. All right, so let's start with the bad news because I love the good news. Now, unfortunately, we just found ourselves in a place that we cannot have control. My prayer has always been that God should give me the mind to accept the things I cannot change, the power to change the things I can change, and the understanding to know the difference between the ones I can change and the ones I cannot change. Let me say it again. This has always been my prayer, to have the mind and the power to change the things that I can change. And to also have the same mind to know the things I cannot change, but of course, greater and deeper understanding to find out the difference between the two. Last year, a great universal news hit the world, which was a bad news, and that was the pandemic, the COVID-19 pandemic, and it affected a lot of industries, and the travel industry was one. So this year, Dubai was open for travels earlier this year. But along the line, I think the news I got, I think there are other indices as well, but then the news I got was there was this manipulation with Nigerians going to Dubai with some fake COVID-19 tests. So they kind of shut down their borders to Nigeria. Now, I cannot authenticate this yet, but that's what I heard. But anyways, the flights to Dubai has been closed to Nigeria and is still closed to Nigeria for now. Whether they're going to open, I don't know how soon they would open. We were hopeful that they would have opened by April, early April, but till now they're still closed. So it is a general issue we're having across board, not just our team. Ambassador Ronke's team as well. Those who qualified, they cannot travel as at this time. So that is the bad news. I mean, we can't. And we kept on waiting and waiting and hoping, but it can't work. I mean, so we just have to understand that this is what we cannot control. Therefore, we have to create a solution. And there is a solution to the problem. For every problem, there's a solution. So instead of us crying over the fact that we cannot travel to Dubai, I mean, it has altered our travel arrangement to Dubai, which was what a lot of some people qualified for, and some people are willing to pay the difference to also travel with us. We had to bring out a solution to it. So we went into our thinking gear with all the G leaders coming together, and we started saying, hey, so how do we make this happen? Because we have to travel this year. So we did our research. We went into the cooks again, and so we brought out a solution, powerful solution. That's good news. So now the good news is this: we have, since we don't know when Dubai is going to open up, so we upgraded our trip. We upgraded our travel. So from Dubai, we've upgraded our travels to keep drumming. Who knows where? Where from Dubai to where? Huh? Somebody say Ghana, God forbid. To where? To where? Who knows? Who thinks? Come on now, give me an idea. From Dubai to where? How do we know if we qualified? Somebody's asking, how do we know if we qualified? Come on now, if you qualified, you would know. You need 300 codes minimum to generate you would have generated 300 codes from your non-qualifying leg. Out of that 300 codes, 30 is from you, and then 10 personally sponsored from you. Boom, you've qualified. Yeah, somebody got it. Adeyemi and Yola, we have upgraded from Dubai to Seychelles. Yes, Seychelles, all the way. Seychelles. Yes, I know you've been seeing it in movies, you've been dreaming about it. It is about to happen. No, not Manila, not Maldives. Maldives is for those who want to do lovey-lovey Valentine's and those couples. Yes, Marjorie, I know you like that kind of thing. Maldives, eh? No, not Maldives. Yeah, don't worry. When you have your man, you guys go there, you have a nice time. But for a group experience, it's Seychelles. Yes. It's Seychelles. US? No, not USA. We don't want to leave some people behind. So we actually looked at where would be feasible for everybody. However, there's a twist to the qualification, all right? The upgrade qualification, there's a twist, and the twist is very interesting. Now, we now decided that for more people to have, because some people didn't take the qualification seriously, and since Dubai is closed, we can't travel to Dubai. We selected another destination. Now, for us to be able to make it to Seychelles in a short notice, it won't be possible. So the only feasible space we could get below 1 million, all the options we're getting for Seychelles is 1.5 million for one person, 1.6 million, 1.8 million, 1.3 million different travel agencies, and yet we want the best. We want a 5-star experience, and that's what we do in Team 247. We don't compromise with quality, even if it takes us time. We don't compromise with quality. So all the 5-star experience we're getting were above 1 million. So what we did was, but they told us that if we're able to be patient enough, that we'll get something super in the next, 5 months or 6 months. In fact, if we're able to wait for 8 months, we can get something below 1 million, package below 1 million. That was okay, in the long run, but no, we don't want to wait for 8 months to travel. We want to do it as, quickly as possible. So we went again, we started looking for more new travel agents and trip organizers. It wasn't easy. We were pressing the button, we got one, but the person couldn't come as low as what we wanted, so that people would be able to travel with us. Ambassador Ifeanyi took it upon himself, and he went out of his way and used superior bargaining power, and we got something powerful. Ladies and gentlemen, we were able to get a Seychelles trip below 1 million. And we did not get 6 months. We did not get 5 months. We didn't even get 4 months. Ladies and gentlemen, we got the best package that we would have gotten in a 9-month, 8-month space. We got it in 90 days. Yes, we got the best price ever in the history of travels to Seychelles. Instead of 9 months, 8 months, we got it in 90 days. And we're all celebrating, we're all happy, all right? But we now said, all right, so instead of just 3 people who qualified to go, we're going to give people, we're going to upgrade this and give people the chance and opportunity. So since it's 90 days, we're going to give people an opportunity to now qualify for Seychelles. Those who have already qualified for Dubai, there's good news for you. You don't need the extensive qualification. So I'm going to, it will be broken down on the qualification process, but I'm going to summarize it. All right. I'm going to summarize it. Somebody wants to go to Togo. All right, you can go and greet the Togolese president for us. Amen. Mm-hmm. Yes, show us pictures. Yeah. Now, the thing is, Dubai was a 300 code qualification. Now, Seychelles is a 600 code qualification in terms of the amount to travel to Seychelles, 600 codes. So from 300 codes to Dubai, Seychelles is an exotic place. You can compare it with Dubai in terms of travel experiences and activities we're going to have. However, it's a 600 code experience. So you have to generate 600 codes. But that was the previous arrangement we had. But with this 90 days arrangement, we were able to crash the code for qualification from 600 to 500, no, to 480, no, to 450, no, to 400 codes. Yes. As expensive as Seychelles is, as wowing as Seychelles is, we were able to bring the code to 400. So what does that mean for those who qualified? For 3 of you who qualified, it simply means you simply need to do 100 code more for 90 days. You move with us to Seychelles. For those who didn't qualify, you have to do 400 codes. But there will still be the package for if you don't hit 400 codes, you hit 200 codes, you can monetize it. There will still be that package. All right. But if you want to qualify and you don't want to pay anything, it's 400 codes. For those who are qualified, you don't need to, you've already gotten your 300 codes. So all you need to do is just do extra 100 codes, boom, you've qualified. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the new world of travel. Seychelles, here we come. So if you did not qualify the last time, God just gave you another opportunity by shutting down Dubai. Shutting down, I mean, if Dubai was open, well, boy, we've done disappear since. We've been out of here by now. But if Dubai is closed, God is opening another door for us. So it's Seychelles. So at this point, I'm going to hand over the baton to Ambassador Ifeanyi to give us a flavor of what Seychelles will look like. And then our great ambassador, Kelechi, will now break down the qualification, and then we'll take it up from there. So, Ambassador Ifeanyi, over to you.
Hey guys, I'm so excited. Thank you so much, my leader, Ambassador Obianefo Esimai. Thank you so much for your selflessness. Thank you for piloting this great team. It's not news that Century 21 Freedom Group is the best network marketing group in the whole of Africa right now. You understand? And I dare say one of the best in the world. And when you come to Century 21 Freedom Group, of course, the undisputed Team 247, we always lead. Unfortunately, it's not our fault, but it's just what it is. And when God has placed you in a position of leadership, you must represent. It's just how it is. You understand? So we've led well in terms of international trips. We've led well in terms of ambassadorial positions. We've led well in terms of top 20. We've led well in nearly everything. When we started the meetings, going out to hotels and all of that, we were the ones that started it. Most of the systems we have were all developed by crazy guys in 247. You understand? Most of the things that, so we appreciate God that God has trusted us. So when God is trusting you with things, you must keep going. You must keep going. So people are saying, so why do I have to pay that amount to start? Then qualify and go. But my duty here is not to talk so much because my leader has already broken it down. My assignment is very simple, to give you a flavor of what Seychelles. I promise you, from today, some of you will not dream anything else but Seychelles. And that is what you need for you to qualify. So my name is Sam Wozani, and I appreciate you for being here. And I also appreciate all the G leaders of 247. You guys are amazing. It took us meetings, for us to be able to understand and come up with a single front. I appreciate you. I appreciate my immediate upline, Ambassador Beatrice Chibo. Thank you so much for showing me this business and getting me to the business. Thank you. So without wasting much time, I'm so excited because I have a few things to show you here. And Seychelles is a beautiful place. I remember just like yesterday when we were talking about going to Mauritius, and I promise you'll like this. I just have just short. All right. So just hold your hold your mind. You'll be wowed. It's as simple as that. It's a promise. Maybe God allowed us not to go to Dubai for a good reason. I'm sure. All right. So this particular video is things to do in Seychelles. Okay. Things you want to do when you get to Seychelles. So I believe you can see the screen. Can you? Okay. If you can, please just drop and please be excited. Come on, be excited. Other people are trying to hit some targets in the banks and all of that. You are trying to go to travel, even if you need to hit a target. All right. Um, so I believe you can see this. So
welcome to Unilad Adventure. Here's some incredible things you can do in the Seychelles. Seychelles' main island is called Mahe. There's loads to do here, and it also serves as the main hub for transport to some of Seychelles' most picturesque locations. So here's a few of the best experiences you can have out on the islands. First off, you definitely want to have Curious Island on your list. This island is a beautiful, quiet spot, and you can even make friends with these giant tortoises. It's one of the only places in Seychelles where they roam freely, and there's plenty of leaves around to feed them with as well. If you really want to impress them, they love a good scratch on the bottom of their neck. There's a really nice hiking route around the island, and the nature along the way is stunning. Some of the private tours that bring you here will even cook you a delicious barbecue to enjoy. The next island on our list is Le Digue. This is by far Seychelles' most picturesque island, and it's a great place to kick back and relax. Everyone gets around Le Digue on bicycles, and there's plenty of beautiful beaches to explore, but the most iconic of them all has to be Anse Source d'Argent. It's said to be the most photographed beach in the world and features incredible white sand with intriguing rock formations. You could probably get enough shots here in one day to fill your Instagram for a whole month. The water gets deep really slowly here as well, meaning you can walk far out into the ocean, step into nature, and away from the stresses of everyday life. Okay, so if you're fed up of relaxing and need a little more adventure on your trip, then there's plenty of things on offer in the Seychelles. Praslin Island is home to the incredible nature park Vallée de Mai. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site which houses the coco de mer. This plant grows the world's largest seed. The plants here are huge, and exploring the site feels like you've stepped onto the set of Jurassic Park. There's a few different walking trails, so you can go on a hike that takes either 1, 2 or 3 hours depending on your choice. Praslin is also home to Anse Lazio. Now, I know I said earlier that Le Digue has the most picturesque beach, but Anse Lazio actually took the crown as my favourite beach on this trip. The sand is thick and overhanging palm trees give you plenty of natural shade spots to cool off. The water level here is also really nice. It's deep, but not too deep that you can't stand up. Having this incredible beach and Vallée de Mai Nature Park means that Praslin is the best of both worlds. It's definitely a must-see. Scuba diving in the Seychelles is out of this world. Not only will you see incredible corals and a huge variety of tropical fish, but you're likely to see turtles if you go diving in the right places. We highly recommend checking out the diverse marine life here. If you still want to enjoy this but diving isn't your thing, you can definitely see a lot from just snorkeling alone. For this, it's a good idea to head out from Mahe on a catamaran to Moyen Island. This is an excellent day trip where you'll be taken out to explore the Marine National Park. You can relax on the catamaran and take in the stunning views, dive into the ocean, and even go for a walk around Moyen. It's very small but rich in nature and even has a resident dog who lives on the island. It's also worth noting that there are some giant tortoises here as well, so if you can't make it out to Curious Island, you can still experience these beautiful animals much closer to Mahe. There's even a sandbar here that stretches right out into the ocean. Standing in the middle of the water with nothing else around you feels completely surreal. Now let's talk about staying back on Mahe. Being Seychelles' main island, it has an awful lot on offer. The Bouvelon Beach area boasts a whole load of activities, including a range of fun water sports. Nothing feels quite as good as jet skiing in paradise. You can also go parasailing here, where you'll get an awesome view of the island. If nature's where it's at for you, then ziplining through forest canopies couldn't be a better suggestion. You can do this at the Ophelia Resort and it's well worth it. Finally, if you're not on a budget, then a helicopter ride is definitely one of the coolest things you can do. You'll fly back over Moyen Island and see some of Mahe's most beautiful spots from the best vantage point available. Speaking of budgeting, things can get quite expensive in the Seychelles, but we've got your back here. The night markets on Bouvelon Beach are one of the best places to go for culture and cheap food. You can try everything here for a relatively good price and enjoy local music around a campfire. Well, that's all we have time for on this one, but if you're interested in the more luxury side of accommodation, then you can head over to our High Life episode linked here, which gives you a full walkthrough tour of the Four Seasons Resort in the Seychelles. Even if this is out of your budget, it's pretty incredible to see. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more of the best travel tips from around the world weekly.
Hope you guys had fun watching this. So while I say what I'm saying, so while I show us this, I will have to now say what's in the talk, so that you can. So these are beautiful places you can visit while in the station. Now, what I have to tell us is this. The trip is going to be an amazing one. Why? Because, in fact, it's as if we're going to like 2 cities. When we pick off from Nigeria, we're going to do Addis, that's Addis Ababa. That you've never been to any other African countries. Let's say you've not been to Ethiopia. Ethiopia is one of the most beautiful countries in Africa, especially in South Africa. So Addis Ababa, we have a night there, we sleep there, and then head over to Seychelles, to Victoria. That's the capital of Victoria. Then from Victoria, we're also going to visit that Mahé, one of their most beautiful islands, Mahé. Then from Mahé, we'll do other tours, other things we need to do. Now, before we come back, we're going to go back again to Addis Ababa and have a night again there before finally coming back. So while in Seychelles, so you have fun, and you know, some of the things here you can do, but some of them are not captured in what we are doing. For instance, if you have the mind to fly an helicopter, that's fine. So just make sure you have the money. And then other things too that you can document for yourself. So I just want to encourage you, if you don't have a bucket list, you need to have a bucket list, you know. And 90 days is enough time for those of you who want to lose weight to lose weight and look incredible. I've taken it upon myself that I'm not very last this time around. I'm going to come to an island such as Seychelles, tropical island, and I will look good. You understand? So let your imagination rule you. What you're thinking, let it give you what you want. What kind of life do you want? Some people will say, people are starving, many people are spending money going to Seychelles. You don't need to go with us, you understand me? So, Ambassador Defo, thank you so much for allowing me to capture this moment. All right, so I'm going to hand over to him, then he'll hand over to Ambassador Neutron, who will give us a further breakdown on how we can really enjoy this and how easily anybody can qualify for this. Let me tell you, I appreciate those that actually went out of their way to qualify. You know, it's amazing. It's amazing. You know, you suddenly just realize that you can actually be the driver of your life, and you achieve something, especially when people don't look at you that you are able to achieve this, and you just mesmerize everybody, you know, and suddenly you achieve it. And people are like, wow. So you know what it means to qualify. So congratulations to all of you that qualified. In fact, I'm yet to confirm it, but I think some other person said who probably did not update his quick count. But that will be all sorted out. So thank you so much, Ambassador. Over to you right now. Thank you.
Super. Awesome. That was lovely. I don't know if you if you didn't think, if you didn't have a tingle in you, I did. In fact, as I'm speaking to you now, my spirit is in Seychelles. My body is here speaking to you. Yes, I can't wait to be there. And again, qualifying and traveling is not just to go have fun and relax. It also has a boosting effect for your business. Like we keep saying, some of you listening to me can actually pay from your pocket and travel to Seychelles. Yeah. Some of your prospects that you're talking to can actually pay from their pockets and travel to Seychelles. But then you see, if you travel alone, you have a lonely trip. But imagine when you travel with great minds and great men, women that have something in common. We have fun. That fun cannot be bought. No matter how much you have in this world. You may have the whole money in the world to buy one island and say, nobody should come here. You are there alone. All right? in the middle, you'll be lonely, the loneliest human being on earth. In fact, you might even be depressed if you're not careful. And when you go with, a bubbling team, number one, you are refreshed, your mind calms down, everybody's doing different things. At the end of the day, we'll come together, we'll eat barbecue. If you travel to Mauritius with us, you'll understand what I mean. There's one lungu we entered. We passed the deep blue sea, past this ocean. What's the name of this ocean now? That we did parasailing now. If I please help me remember now.
Indian Ocean. Indian Ocean.
God bless you. We passed Indian Ocean, yes, and we appeared in one lungu where we never knew that human beings would be there. And they prepared barbecue for us. If you drink, you would drink and you would die, because drink was, we didn't pay. It was part of the trip. Meat was, as you are eating, they are making more barbecue. Fish, plenty. We drank different kinds of drinks. Those who love alcohol were drinking different kinds of alcohol, but we told them, please, after drinking, we need to go back into the sea before you begin to, because you are high, you might jump into the ocean and say, I want to swim because you're high. So please take it easy. We ate white shark, very spicy, well prepared. It was an amazing experience. You can't have that amazing experience alone, never. And, we still had a beach in that lungu where we did, this badminton inside the water. I mean, it was absolutely amazing. We're going to have that. We're going to replicate that, in fact, even more in Seychelles. Then apart from the relaxation and the enjoyment you're going to have, imagine coming back and you're taking those pictures and you're putting your Instagram page, your Facebook page, your WhatsApp DP. It's going to be mind-blowing. When talking to people about this business, their mind will open. So it's not just about words. You're showing them evidence, because they know some of them will start this business just to travel, not because of the money, because they're making money already, but they would want to have that koinonia, that group effect, that powerful scenario before they die. They've been traveling, they've gone to Dubai, they've gone to South Africa, they've gone to Ghana, they've gone to Togo. But all the while they've been going to these places, they were going alone and they were feeling lonely. So they want to be part of this business, La Buena Vida, so that they can travel with a group of like minds, a group of bubbling young men and women. All right. So the question is, how do I qualify, right? I saw somebody writing 600 codes. No, it's not 600 codes, it's 400 codes. And you are not the one to generate the 400 codes yourself. There is a system to it, and that is going to be broken down to you. So you know how simple and how straightforward it is. All right. And what will make you generate 400 codes is who you are. All right. Once you become a man or a woman of 400 codes, you'll get it easily. But if you are still slacking, if you're still waiting for people to do it for you, you will never hit it. All right. So to take us to that level of explanation. Oh, yes. I even forgot to mention the waterfalls. Oh, my goodness. I think before Ambassador Kelechi is done, maybe I'll just pop out some of the videos there. All right. So, or maybe Ambassador K, if you still have those videos, you can show it before you break down the ice for us. All right. So, taking over this next session is one and only Ambassador Kelechi, the neutron himself, to break down the logistics on how you can qualify, and then we'll prepare ourselves for the next 90 days. Instead of us waiting now for 90 days, why don't we qualify and get more people involved so we'll have more fun? All right. So next voice you're going to hear, next powerful voice you're going to hear is from Ambassador himself, the greatest of the great, Ambassador Kelechi Anodere, the neutron. Over to you.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ambassador Nefo. What we have on our hands right now is something very amazing, very powerful. The trip to Seychelles is going to be explosive. And for people who are not taking it serious, I want to really advise you, start taking this thing serious. When we said we were going to go to Mauritius, people thought we were joking, but they woke up one morning and discovered 35 of us were in Mauritius. And that was the most explosive trip. Yes, like Ambassador Defo said, people have been traveling and the rest of them, But when you travel in a group like this, you understand what we're talking about. Forgive my voice, I have a cold, right? So it's affecting my voice. So when you travel in a group, that's when you feel the power of an event like this. That's when you feel the power of what we are talking about. Many of you do presentations, and during the course of presentation, you bring up a slide and you say, this is when they were in Dubai, this is when they went to Mauritius, this is when they. You are never there. I remember one of my downline asked me, should he Photoshop himself into one of the pictures and begin to say, this is when I was. I told him, no, you can't Photoshop yourself. You have to qualify, right, to be in the picture. So this is an opportunity for you to qualify to be in the picture. Only 400 codes, 400 codes. So many of us look at 400 codes as something that is so big, but I'll show you a breakdown on how you can do 400 codes very, very soon. But before I do that, I'm sure some of you are now thinking about that hotel close to your house. When we're talking about going to Seychelles, you are thinking about the hotel close to your house, and that hotel you have always been seeing, thinking that is where we're going to stay, right? Something like that. I'm going to blow your mind now. I'm going to show you a 3-minute video of the hotel we're going to stay in. Just a 3-minute video. We're staying in a 5-star hotel, right? A 5-star beach resort. Just watch this. Just for 3 minutes, you'll see where we're staying. It's a Hilton hotel, right? Just take a look at the hotel. Watch this video. It's a 3-minute video.
Google Digital Skills for Africa. They give more than 40.
All right. That's the hotel. We'll be staying in Seychelles. second. Yeah, that's the hotel we'll be staying in Seychelles. It's a Hilton hotel. It's a 5-star hotel. It's very, very powerful, right? You can see almost everywhere you have infinity pools there, you know. So this is where we're going to stay. We don't take our people on vacations in Team 247 and settle for just any hotel. No. Somebody saw me the other day and said, Team 247, you people, your fees is too much. Well, it's not our fees is too much. It's what I would like giving our people the best, right? So whatever is going to take us to give you the best, we're going to do that. So that is where we are going to be staying, and it's going to be an explosive time, an amazing time. So let me just take you quickly through why I am here with you. Give me a second to share my screen. I need to be quick with this. Yes. So I'm going to be talking to you briefly on Destination Seychelles and what the qualification is all about, so you understand what you need to do to qualify. I'll be quite fast, right? Now, for you to qualify for this trip, we need to understand that you must be running a minimum of 7 accounts, 7 or 15 accounts, right? Remember, we told you that in our La Buena Vida package, you cannot join us in our trips if you are running 1 account or 3 accounts. So you have to be running a minimum of 7 accounts for you to be able to join us on in this forthcoming Seychelles trip. So you mustn't do the 7 accounts as at the time you are starting, but as at the end of the qualification in 3 months' time, your 7 accounts must be put together, must be complete. A minimum of 7 for you to qualify. And remember, the more accounts you have, the easier it is for you to qualify. Now, the cost of this trip is 800,000 naira. That's the cost of the trip. We tried beating down the much we can, we couldn't. But for anybody who is going on this trip, the leader sponsoring you is putting in as much as 800,000 naira for you to qualify for this trip, right? So this is something that we need to understand. What this means is that now you must generate 400 codes, like my colleagues have said to you, 400 codes from May 3rd, today, to August 3rd, right? From your non-qualifying legs. What do I mean by your non-qualifying legs? If you have 2 legs, A and B, you have 1 account with your left leg and your right leg, and somebody on your right leg is qualifying, it means that for you to qualify, you must generate 400 codes from your left leg, not from the account of the person qualifying, but from a non-qualifying account, right? So the person who is going to generate 400 codes must generate it from a total number of codes you're able to generate from people who are not qualifying, but who are also in the business, doing the business. So that means that you need to work with people in your team to help them grow their businesses. So as they grow their businesses, your business also grows. Then we also need to understand something, that in the Team 247 qualifying system, in month 1, anybody who joins you in month 1 has the capacity to qualify for the coming trip, right? Out of the 3-month qualification period, the person can join in the qualification. But anybody joining from month 2 and month 3 cannot join us in qualifying for the Seychelles trip. Why? Because within month 1, the person can generate codes and decide, okay, I want to qualify. And if he decides to qualify, it means that his codes will not count for you. But in month 2 and 3, anybody who is joining in that within the period of month 2 and month 3 cannot decide to qualify, because now you're already working with them, you're already working the business there, and you don't want that number of codes pulling out. It gives you a shorter number of time to generate 400 codes. So we don't want that to happen. So because of that, anybody joining in month 2, month 3, we always count for you, right? We always count for you. All you, the codes cannot break away if they want to qualify, because they cannot join us in the qualification. Only those that are joined in the first month, from 3rd of May to 3rd of June, are going to be eligible to try and qualify for the Seychelles trip, right? And of course, the Seychelles trip is holding in August. By the end of August, that trip is going to be, we're going to be in Seychelles, by God's grace, having an amazing blast, right? Now, every qualifier, if you want to qualify for the Seychelles trip, you cannot just stand up and wake up one morning and say, I want to qualify. You must register with your G leader. So if you are listening right now and you want to go on this Seychelles trip, you must register with your G leader. So you don't just stand up and say, I'm qualifying for Seychelles. No, Your G leader must have your name, and then they will have a place where your codes are tracked. So we know that you are trying to qualify for the Seychelles trip, right? Also, out of the 400 codes that you have generated, out of the 400 codes, 30 of those codes must be personally generated codes. What do I mean by personally generated codes? If you sign up 2 people, each of them with 15 accounts, right? The 15 of them, the 2 of them did 15 accounts, means you have 30 codes, right? Those 30 codes were the codes that the person came on board with. They are personally generated codes. It means you have 30 personally generated codes, right? Now, if the guy came up with 1 account and then upgraded to 15 later on, you had only 1 personally generated code, because the remaining 14 codes will not count for you. So the codes that will count for you as personally generated codes are codes that people sign up with immediately. Any other code they add later on will not count for you as personally generated codes, right? So 30 codes must be personally generated codes. It means you must have worked with your downlines, people that you sponsor yourself, to generate 30 codes in total from them, right? Then out of the 30 personally generated codes, 10 of those codes must be personally sponsored codes. Personally sponsored code. What that means is this. Out of those 30 codes, let me go back to the initial example. 2 people generated 15 codes each, meaning you have 30 generated codes, personally generated codes. But you only sponsored 2 people, right? That means you generated 2 personally sponsored codes. So you still don't have the requirements to qualify for the trip. So even if you have done 400 codes and you got 2 people who did 15 accounts, you still don't qualify because you still have just 2 personally generated codes. The idea is this: each person needs to be working the business, not relying on their downlines to work the business for them to travel. So you too need to put your own stuff. So you need to recruit 10 people personally, sponsor 10 people within 3 months. If you don't sponsor 10 people within 3 months, you are not in business, right? So 10 people must be sponsored within 3 months. They will give you 10 personally generated codes. So somebody who did 10 people with 3 accounts has 10 personally generated codes. So it has 30 personally generated codes. That's 3 times 10, and also has 10 personally sponsored codes because you personally sponsored the 10 of them, right? So you have to do 400 codes in total, out of which 30 must be personally generated codes, and out of the 30 generated codes, 10 must be personally sponsored code, right? Now, as is typical with Team 247, we have our code count, right? Each code has a code count of 2,000 Naira. The idea behind the code count is to help everybody qualify for the trip, every interested person to go for the trip. Now, you might not qualify. Those who qualify are those who do 400 codes, just like we have in the Dubai qualification. Those who did 300 codes are the ones who qualified, but you could still buy up the trip, right? But for you to join us in this one, only those who qualified in full with 300 codes will now be allowed to upgrade into the Seychelles trip, because this is a different trip altogether, right? So because they couldn't go for the trip and they qualified, they are going to do an extra 100 codes to give them 400 codes to join us on the Seychelles trip. But for those who did 299 codes in Dubai and didn't do 300 codes, you didn't qualify. So right now you're entering a new qualification program for 400 codes for you to qualify for the Dubai trip. Take it serious. For the Seychelles trip, take it serious. Don't play with it. Each code has a code count of 2,000 Naira. What that means is this: if you generated 200 codes, right? Okay, I'll come to that. On those who generate the required codes, counted as okay. Yeah. So those who generated 400 codes, we count you as organically qualified, right? That you've qualified organically, so you've done the real qualification. So there's no long stories. You are going completely free of charge. Anybody who has to pay 1 Naira is no longer qualified organically. So let's say you generate 300 codes. You need to pay for the excess 100 codes to join the trip. So now you are joining the trip. You did not qualify for the trip. So even if you did 399 codes, you did not qualify for the trip. You only joined us on the trip, right? So if you did 300 codes, it means that you have an excess of 100 codes to meet up. you will have to pay 100 times 2,000 naira, 200,000 naira to join us for that trip, right? So that is what you need to do. You pay 200K to join us for the trip. Now, if you want to pay for the full trip, because some people say they don't want to do anything, they don't want to pay for the trip, they want to join us because the Seychelles trip at 800K is really a giveaway. Well, that's nice. But for you to join us to pay for the full trip, you must generate 30 personally generated codes, and you must do 10 personally sponsored codes, right? So the requirement is still there. So the initial requirement is still there. So even if you have to pay for the trip in full, you must, give me a second, please. All right. So even if you have to pay for the full trip, you must do the personally sponsored codes, generated codes of 30, and you must personally recruit 10 people. That is only when we're going to listen to you. So if you have your money and you think you just bring 800,000 naira and join us on the trip, no, you won't be going with us. The idea behind the qualification is to get you to do the activities, right? To do the activity, because you know why? The people paying for this trip are paying for this trip from their own money. AIMGLOBAL is not coming to pay for the trip. Your leaders are paying and sponsoring you on this trip. And for them to sponsor you on this trip, it means that you have to do the business, they make money, you keep your own money, they take their own money and sponsor you on the trip. So you see how that's how we do it in the team. That's why you see how powerful the team is. You keep your own money, just generate the codes, and we will use our own money to sponsor you on the trip, right? So that's what we do. So we ensure that you do the activities required to build the business, right? So, but then you are the one to take care of all your COVID test requirements for the travel. So if there are going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 10 COVID tests, you are the one to do your COVID test by yourself, right? What we're doing is to cover your expense, your travel tickets. We're covering your accommodation. We're covering your feeding and the activities we're doing with you there, right? Any other things you want to that going to come up, like the COVID test, is meant for you. And by the way, for you to join us in the trip, you would have qualified. If you have qualified for the trip, you would have made a lot of money, right? And you can use that money to take care of some of these things. Now, this is the law we have in C2 in Team 247, right? And even in C21FG. Those who have qualified for a previous travel in AIMGLOBAL, you've been to Manila, or CFG trip, you've been to Dubai, right? Or any Team 247 trip, whether it's our trip to Ethiopia, our trip to Mauritius, or whatever trip it is, you are not eligible to be sponsored. If you have engaged in a travel in C21FG, you are not eligible to be sponsored. You are the one who is expected to sponsor people in your organization. So if you have traveled, you are expected to sponsor people in your organization. So if people in your team are qualifying, you need to ensure that you do the right thing to ensure that they engage in the travel too, right? So don't take all your money and blow it up. Always reserve what will be used to sponsor them to this trip, right? So all those who have traveled, you know this very well, take note of it, right? So I'm going to show you a simple accountability system you need to travel. Very simple. The only way you can get to travel is for you to keep tab of what you're doing, right? I'll be rounding up with that. It's a very simple thing. Now, look at this. You need 400 codes to travel. I want to give you a small breakdown of what you need to travel. 400 codes is all you need to travel. Now, some people see 400 codes as very, very big. You can't do 400 codes. Look at this. That means it is 133 codes you need to generate per month over the next 3 months. Right? 133.33 codes per month over the next 3 months. That's what you need to travel. Right? What does that mean? It means that 17 codes per leg is what you need. That is 17 codes per leg per month. So if you have 7 accounts, remember I told you 7 accounts is what you need to travel to qualify the minimum, right? If you have 7 accounts, it has 8 legs. So under each of those 8 legs, all you need to do is 17 codes per month. 17 codes per month is 5 3 accounts and 2 1 accounts. That's all you need to do under each of those legs. 17 codes per month. Is it big? Now, when you look at 400, 400 looks impossible. When you break it down to 17 codes per leg, remember you have downlines there. Work with the downlines to generate those codes. You have 4 downlines, work them. You need a total of 17 codes coming from that leg. So you get them to work with you. You get other ones to work with you. By the time you do that across the 8 legs, you have 133 codes. That month, you have 400 codes at the end of the month, at the end of the condition period. If you are running 15 accounts, what you need is 9 codes per leg per month on 15 accounts. Only 9 codes per leg per month. That is just 3 accounts, 3 accounts. So you have 16 legs under your 15 accounts. What do? You bring out people from those legs who are ready to do the business and who are ready to run the business very well. You put them in a group and you work with them, work activities with them. You do big announcements with them. You do follow-up calls with them. You do close down with them. You do those activities with them. You help them run their businesses, right? From each of those legs, 9 codes only will give you 400 codes in 3 months. That is huge. What that means is this: 400 codes matching you on 1 account. I'm ending it on 1 account. 400 codes matching you on 1 account is going to pay you 2.8 million naira. 400 codes matching you on 1 account is going to pay you 2.8 million naira. If you make 400 codes, you qualify, that's 2.8 million naira. What if you only did 200 codes? When you do this, you've made 1.4 million naira, right? 1.4 million. Now, how much do you need to add to qualify for Seychelles? That is 200 times 400. So from the business, you bring, from money you made in the business, you bring 200 codes times 2,000 naira, that's 400,000 naira. You add it up, right? And then you qualify. You're in for the trip. You still have 1 million naira left for you. So you see how powerful it is. When you understand the breakdown and you follow this breakdown, you too can create the results and engage in this trip with us. This is possible. This is possible. When we said this thing during the Mauritius trip, some people thought it was a joke, but 35 people went for the trip. Now we are going for the Seychelles trip. If you went for the Mauritius trip, you understand what the Seychelles trip is all about. You understand this? Just give me a second. Let me play you the Team 247 experience video. All right, let's take a look.
I love La Buena Vida.
La Buena Vida, the experience.
La Buena Vida, the experience.
La Buena Vida to me has been an awesome experience all the way.
For those of you listening right now, the La Buena Vida is something designed to give you the most amazing life, give you the lifestyle that you are worthy of.
La Buena Vida, the experience.
living the good life. It means the financial freedom. It means the ability for me to live the beautiful life I've always wanted to live. It simply means the ability for me to give to my children the lifestyle they deserve.
La Buena Vida, the experience. This will be the greatest experience after this COVID-19.
La Buena Vida, the experience.
Get back the person that gave you this video.
Then Buena Vida takes you on expedited vacations. You don't just travel to
Yeah, that was the experience, La Buena Vida experience. And of course, we mentioned it there that we are going to Seychelles. And right now, we are going to Seychelles, right? So you have all it takes, you know all it takes. Let's get you to Seychelles. Let's do this system. Let's do this business. And let's build something very fantastic and formidable with you. Thank you so much. Ambassador Nefo, back to you.
Super, 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 super. Wow. So that is as clear as it can be. And I believe that you, let me see. Somebody said I need this video. Very interesting. Oh, yes, it is. But it comes down to what I've said. Remember, become the man and woman that you deserve, and life will give you what you deserve. You have to become it. So this business has proven to pay you and pay participants what they deserve. So if you don't deserve the millions can never come to you. If you don't deserve the travels, it will come to you. Even if you pay and travel, you didn't qualify for it, all right? So you'll still be that man who doesn't deserve travels, even though you traveled. I'm just being honest with you guys, all right? Because how you know that you have become a man that travels is if you travel once, it will not be easy for you to travel the next time. That means you became a man or a woman who's qualified to travel. But if you travel the first time, let's assume you use money to pay, and then there's another qualification, you're finding it difficult, you don't travel, that means you don't fall your hand now. You weren't even meant to have traveled the first time, you borrowed money to travel. Instead of you to build yourself to qualify to travel, you borrow money to travel. Then the next trip comes. That's when the world is watching you. So how come you didn't travel? You begin to give excuses. Oh, I now want my downlines to travel. Oh, I wanted, nah. You have not become. So travel is one thing, making money is another thing, but they all follow the same principle. Become the man that deserves what you want, and then that thing you deserve will come to you. It's very, very straightforward. There will be in our individual cell meetings, more of this explanation on how to qualify will be clarified upon. If you have questions, ask questions. But understand that if you want to qualify, if you want to be part of part of those who qualify, identify with your G leader. Identify with your G leader. If you don't know who your G leader is, begin to ask questions now. Ask your upline to find out from your upline, to find out from your upline until you get to know who your G leader is, and you will be signed up into the Seychelles qualification group. Now, if you do not do that, even though you get all the codes to qualify, you will not be listened to. Please, I'm making this very clear. If you're not part of the Seychelles qualification group, by identifying with your G leader and being put into the Seychelles qualification group, and you generate all the codes in the world, you will not be attended to. Now, I want to clarify on one thing before we go. Remember, it is not AIMGLOBAL that is sponsoring you to travel. This trip is not being sponsored by AIMGLOBAL. It's not being sponsored by Century 21 Freedom Group. It's not even being sponsored by Team 247 or the Vision Group or the Champions Group. It is sponsored by your upline leader. Yeah. like Ambassador Casey said it, if you attempt to qualify for this Dubai trip and you make 400 codes, you're going to make a lot of money in the excess of millions. But what we're saying is keep your millions. Let the leader sponsor you. Now, because you did some work, the leader will also, the company will compensate your leader for the work you did. The company will not take your money, part of your money, and give to your leader. No. The company will compensate your leader because you are under him, and without your leader, the company will not know him. Without your leader, pardon me, the company will not know you. Therefore, the company is saying, thank you, Mr. Leader, for sponsoring this man into this business. That's why he's doing this activity. So we have to, give you some bonuses. The bonus they gave your leader is what instead of your leader eating it or solving accommodation problems, your leader will bundle that money he has made and sponsor you. Do you understand? It is our culture. It is called servant leadership. It is called servant leadership. That's why we keep growing. Don't get it twisted. It's not monkey they walk, but on the chop. Now, how is it possible that you made money from qualifying, keep your money, and then your leader takes you? Because it is a culture. And once you are sponsored, you know that you are next to sponsor your own downline so that continues growing. Because if we sponsor you and you go, it will explode your business as well. Your growth is my growth. Therefore, I must sponsor you. Do you understand? Your growth is my growth. Therefore, I must sacrifice and sponsor you so that your business will expand the more. That is the ideology. Therefore, you begin to understand why it is imperative that you qualify, you do the work, so that at least your leader would also be able to get some compensation from the company. But as leaders are sacrificial, so we have to sacrifice and use that money we made to sponsor you, and sponsor ourselves. I hope you understand. Sponsor you and sponsor ourselves so that we all go together. But by doing so, we are solidifying your business so that you will not collapse. Am I communicating? Because you've kept that money aside. But that money you kept aside, please don't eat everything. Use some of that money to pay for your COVID-19 test. Use part of that money to, there'll be some things you want to buy in Seychelles. Just use some of those money and buy for your loved ones who are out here. Then majority of the money, put it back into this business. Yes. Pay for Zoom platform. Pay for halls where you'll be running weekly and daily presentations, all right? So that your business will also grow. Am I communicating? So let me check if there's any pressing question. Otherwise, we'll call it a day. All right. So I think there isn't any pressing question at this moment. Okay. So if there are more questions you need to ask, please during the cell meetings, ask your individual leaders. All right, it will be explained to you better. So I want to congratulate everybody who has remained here till this moment. I want to thank you for making out time as a partner to tune in. But as we're doing this, remember, it all boils down to failure and success. It's not up to your upline. It's not up to your downline. It's up to you. Failure and success. So if you fail, you cost the failure. If you succeed, you cost the success. Any which ways, you are the end and the beginning of your life. God has blessed you already. God is not about to bless you and me. God has blessed us already. All we need to do is we rise up and begin to walk in the blessings that he has given us. And may today mark the beginning of a revolution in your mind, in your heart, to know that you are living below your capacity and God is not happy. You are living below your capacity, and posterity will not forgive you. No matter how much you're making today, there's room to make more. Because when you make more, you can solve more problems, give to more people, become a force that the world will reckon with. Do not settle. Not if you're in Team 247. Not if you're in this team. Do not settle. I don't care what your background is, but do not settle. That is how to move to the next level. See, my twins are crying. I got to go meet them. Like some of you need to go meet your babies and twins if possible. But these my twins are special, so I got to go meet them. All right? And I have to leave you guys. It was a pleasure talking with you. I remain your honorable leader, servant leader, Ambassador Nefo Esimai. And may you become the best that God has created you for. On behalf of all G leaders in Team 247, I wish you a fantastic day. May God continue to bless you, and see you when we see. God bless.